Chapter 12, 98, Trading Goo, Translator, Atlas Studios, Editor, Atlas Studios. The trading convention was underway. As the host of this trading convention, Miao Ming-shen originally was to be the final person to get on the stage. But because Fang Yuan joined in, he became the last person. Miao Ming-shen was now the second last to trade. In this aspect, Fang Yuan could see Miao Ming-shen's great interpersonal skills. Gu immortals who got to trade first had the bigger advantage. Miao Ming-shen, as the final person, was expressing goodwill to everyone. But he could not place Fang Yuan before him. This was against the rules. Newcomers had to be last. If he went against this, everyone would be unhappy. After all, Miao Ming-shen was the host of this session. But what about the next? Interpersonal skills were nothing much. It was just one's attitude when interacting with people. Miao Ming-shen had a good grasp of this. He made the people that he interacted with feel friendly toward him. However, Fang Yuan's mind was not on Miao Ming-shen. His gaze was shining as he looked at the immortal Gu that Miao Ming-shen was holding. Rank 7, Divination Tortoiseshell Gu. Fang Yuan was greatly enticed. Why? Because Fang Yuan had many methods that he could not use, like ancient sword dragon transformation or reverse flow protection seal. If they were used, Fang Yuan had to make sure there were no survivors. Otherwise, intelligence on him would leak, and Gu immortals would be able to find out more information about him. He would be forced into a corner. This was quite awkward, actually. As Fang Yuan got stronger, the problems he created were getting bigger. Shadow Sect, Heavenly Court, longevity. Heaven, looking at his opponents and enemies, all of them were colossal forces. Recently, he even made enemies with old ancestor Shuhu, the #1 rank 8 in Northern Plains. Thus, Fang Yuan was facing great pressure. He had not reached rank 9. Only after reaching rank 9 would Fang Yuan be able to announce his identity openly. Nobody would be able to stop him. Before reaching rank 9, even if Fang Yuan cultivated to rank 8, Longevity Heaven and Heavenly Court could still find trouble with him. Currently rank 7. Fang Yuan had to act with a low profile. He had to disguise himself and cultivate rapidly to accumulate strength. Becoming Wu Yi Hai has a weakness, or rather, I have a flaw. Fang Yuan could not fight when he was Wu Yi Hai, because he was not the real Wu Yi Hai. After soul-searching Wu Yi Hai, Fang Yuan found that Wu Yi Hai had 3 transformation killer moves. One was a coral form, one was a seagull form, and the third was a tortoise. Earlier during the battle in the regional wall, Wu Yi Hai had turned into a tortoise to defend himself. Fang Yuan remembered clearly that it was a horned divine tortoise, an ancient, desolate beast with a tough shell. It was top 10 in that regard among Eastern Sea's ancient, desolate beasts. Actually, this could be seen from Wu Yi Hai's immortal aperture. Wu Yi Hai's immortal aperture was a sea. There were 3 types of life forms inside: sea turtles and tortoises with the ancient, desolate beast horned divine tortoise, corals with the ancient, desolate plant silent coral, and seagulls with the desolate beast white letter blue feather seagull. As a transformation path Gu immortal, he would often raise the species that he transformed into. Firstly, these life forms were resources that could help with his transformation path cultivation. Like the horned divine tortoise that Wu Yi Hai cultivated, if he needed any immortal Gu in the future, he could kill these horned divine tortoises to refine it. Secondly, transformation path. Gu immortals had to have a clear understanding of these life forms that they transformed into to raise their battle strength. Raising them in the immortal aperture would allow them to observe the life forms and eventually have realistic transformations with greater battle strength. As for Fang Yuan, this was just a method. Fang Yuan's transformation path attainment level was raised from dream realms and tribulations. Once his attainment level rose, it would influence all these cultivation aspects, including this. Thus, Fang Yuan saved a lot of trouble. He could skip a long time of observation and practice. If I can have this immortal Gu, it would be very useful to me. Fang Yuan became more enticed as he thought about it. The divination tortoise was a wisdom path, ancient desolate beast. It had one ability: to defend against deductions. Many Gu immortals wanted to capture this ancient, desolate beast, but using wisdom path methods to deduce its location was too difficult. If Fang Yuan became a divination tortoise, it would help him greatly when traveling. He concluded that this immortal Gu was extremely useful. Or rather, it was too useful. For others, rank 7 divination tortoiseshell, immortal Gu might be useless. After all, it could only defend one's back. But if one wanted its deduction prevention ability, it was instead not as effective as other methods. Thus, it had little use. Furthermore, why would a Gu immortal face deductions all the time? Was everyone Liu Guanyi? Fang Yuan, however, was different. He was extremely famous in the 5 regions now. Even his fake identity was. Furthermore, Fang Yuan could transform into a divination tortoise and use the transformation path down marks. It was an immortal killer move. The ability to defend against deductions would be far stronger than using divination tortoiseshell immortal Gu alone. Fang Yuan looked around. What made him happy was that these people were not very interested in the immortal Gu. Transactions of immortal Gu were only done through exchange. This was because immortal Gu were unique. Their value could not be determined easily. The value of immortal Gu completely depended on the person. The same immortal Gu could be a burden to someone. After all, the price of feeding immortal Gu was huge, but to others they would pursue it relentlessly. They would treat it like a treasure if they got it. Immortal Gu. To think that he is trading immortal Gu in the first round. The Gu immortals sighed. They spoke softly, but they stayed on their seats, not moving. Miao Mingshen smiled. He had anticipated this. They were few transformation path Gu immortals. Among those present, Chu Ying was the only one. And even Chu Ying might not be very interested in this immortal Gu. Transformation path. Gu immortals usually cultivated 2 or 3 transformations. Too many was pointless. Unless they had the essence of transformation path change, form immortal Gu, it could allow them to turn into any form. But Miao Mingshen had his intentions in doing this. He was the host of this trading convention. If news that an immortal Gu trade had occurred in the first round got out, it would elevate the status of this trading convention. It would attract more Gu immortals with greater wealth here. I am willing to trade for this immortal Gu. Fang Yuan stood up from his seat. At once, the Gu immortals looked towards Fang Yuan with surprised expressions. Miao Mingshen was slightly dazed, before reacting and smiling even wider now. I wonder what you would like to trade for, Fang Yuan asked. Miao Mingshen chuckled. Chu Ying, this is your first trading convention, and you are my benefactor. How about this? I do not have much use for this immortal Gu. We can trade anything. This time, Fang Yuan was dazed. He did not expect Miao Mingshen to list such an easy condition. But even so, immortal Gu transactions could only be done with immortal Gu. Other things were not usable. Fang Yuan thought about it. I have flying bear strength immortal Gu? Deal. Before Fang Yuan finished his words, Miao Mingshen agreed without hesitation. Fang Yuan could not help but look at Miao Mingshen, realizing why this person was doing so well in Eastern Sea's Gu immortal world. He was a lone immortal, but he actually had several Gu immortals that were so loyal to him. But some things had to be stated clearly. He smiled bitterly. Friend, I am in admiration towards your intentions, but I have not finished my words. My flying bear strength, immortal Gu, is only rank 6. Miao Ming. Shen's expression changed. The other immortals' expressions also turned grim. They looked at Fang Yuan with dark gazes. Flying bear strength was a strength path immortal Gu, while divination tortoiseshell immortal Gu was transformation path. Strength path was declining, but transformation path was still popular and strong. Between the two, flying bear strength immortal Gu was already less valuable than divination tortoiseshell immortal Gu. And now flying bear strength was only rank 6. How could a rank 6 immortal Gu and rank 7 immortal Gu be traded? The value was completely different.